Hello, friends. Welcome to Calm Studio Gentle Yoga Online. My name is Melissa. Let's get started. So today, you will need, if you have one, a blanket. And other than that, just your yoga mat and yourself. But if you do have a blanket, it might be nice to have something that's a little thicker or something that you could fold up. And yeah, let's come to our mats and get started. So today we'll have a 30-minute practice. And we're going to be working on back bending, backward bending, and forward bending. So we're going to mostly be on the mat today, but we'll see how it goes. The oil that I'm using today is Breathe, which is a combination of different oils: peppermint, eucalyptus, cardamom, all good for opening up the airways. So this is a great oil for this time of year. And I love to just take a drop, put it in my hands, rub them together and breathe it in. And it kind of feels like a Vicks Vapor Rub, but all natural. So you can even rub it on your chest, and that's just going to help to open up the lungs and open up the airways. Backward bending in yoga is good for many different things, and I'm just going to list a few of them for you. It improves digestion. It helps to strengthen your lower back and increase spinal flexibility. It's energizing, so it's going to, even though usually we do backward bending lying down on the mat, although you can do it standing or kneeling, it helps to open the lungs, and it also helps to stretch your hip flexors. So if you do a lot of sitting, especially sitting in the car or sitting at the computer, backward bending is very beneficial. So let's get started here. We'll do a few warm-ups first, and let's also, since we used the Breathe oil and we're working on opening up our lungs today, let's just take some deep belly breaths to begin. So just close the eyes and take a moment to just come into this moment right now. Maybe just making a commitment to spend the next 30 minutes focusing on yourself and your body and taking care of yourself. See if you can create a little length in your spine. And let's take a few deep belly breaths. Inhale, feeling the belly, the rib cage, the chest expand, and exhaling, feeling the rib cage and the belly deflate. Inhale, filling up. Exhale, letting go. At your own pace. And let that breathing go. Let your breath return to normal and gently open the eyes. Let's just turn the head gently to the right, looking over the right shoulder. And then bring the head back center and turn to the left. And just take that a couple of times. Just a nice, easy, smooth movement. And think about keeping your chin sort of parallel to the floor. So chin isn't tilted up or tilted down, but just about parallel to the floor. And just noticing if there's a difference, one side of the neck feels tighter than the other. And then begin to roll the shoulders up, back, and around. And then if you're sitting on a block, come off your block. I have my blanket here, which I'm going to use later. I'm just going to put that off to the side. So let's take a moment to just stretch the legs out straight, flex and point the feet. Circle the ankles. Circle the wrists. And then place both hands behind you on the mat with the fingertips facing away from you. So you can have fingertips on the mat, or you can have palms on the mat, whatever feels best. See how close together can you get your hands. Bring your hands as close to the body as feels comfortable, and then draw the shoulders back, draw the shoulder blades together, and just take a couple good deep breaths here. And then keeping the right hand behind you, take the left hand outside of the right knee and just turn the chest to the right. Take a breath. And then come back center, easy switch to the other side. And come back center. Let's take one more twist before we go into our backward bending. This just helps to kind of prepare and loosen up the spine. So bend the right knee. And let's cross the right foot over the left leg. You can keep the left leg straight, or you can lean to the left and tuck the left leg underneath you. So it doesn't matter. Just do whatever feels right for you. If it's uncomfortable to have the leg underneath you, then just keep the left leg straight. Left arm's going to wrap around the right leg. So I like to think about the crook of the elbow sort of pulling the knee in towards the body. But you can also use your hand, your left hand, to pull that right knee towards the body very gently. Right hand back behind you. And again, just breathing into the twist. See if you can soften the lower back a little bit. And then come back center, untangle the legs and just shake them out. And then bend the left knee, cross the left foot over the right leg. So you can stay in the twist here, or you can tuck the right leg underneath you if that feels okay. Right arm is going to wrap around the left leg, sort of gently pulling that left leg towards the body as the left hand comes back behind you, and breathe in the twist. And then come back center, shake out the legs. And let's come over onto the hands and the knees. And again, we're just warming up the spine before we go into our backward bending. So we will take a few cat-cows here. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take a moment to sort of even the weight on those 4 points. And then drop the belly, lift the head, inhale in cow. Exhale, round the back and tuck the chin in cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, and as you're in cow, just check here and make sure the shoulders are sort of drawing back away from the ears. And then around the back and tuck the chin and cat. Let's take it one more time. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And settle center. Just for a moment, let's walk the hands forward. And then drop the chest down, but keep the hips high. We'll take a couple of breaths in puppy pose. Your forehead can go right down to the mat if that feels comfortable. This is a great shoulder opener. And then from here, bring the body up and we're going to lower all the way down to the mat, making the pillow for the head. And just taking a good deep breath here into the lower back. So here's a tip if you want to get a little bit more comfort. It's really nice if you take your blanket, not making it too thick, so it should be on the thinner side, and putting that blanket underneath your hips. Just going to make things a little bit nicer. And why shouldn't we do that? Okay, so let's start with some simple back bending. We'll start with Sphinx pose. So most of you are familiar with, this is a pose that we do a lot. Take the feet apart, place the hands underneath the shoulders, slide the hands forward, coming up onto the forearms in Sphinx pose. So I'm going to breathe here. If you want to move the head a little bit, maybe try to look back at your feet behind you. And you might notice that that's easier on one side than the other. We have the tendency to turn the head more to one side than the other. So this is just a chance to even that out a little bit. And then release all the way down. Make the pillow for the head. Take a good deep breath into the lower back. And then taking Sphinx pose one more time. If this feels comfortable, you can stay here or you can lift the elbows and take it into seal pose. Just one thing to check so that the shoulders are down and relaxed and not coming up by the ears. And then release all the way down, make the pillow for the head, and this time just shift the hips a little bit side to side, encouraging the lower back to release. Okay, we're going to move into Cobra. So if Cobra's not comfortable for you, you can continue to work on Sphinx pose and seal pose. But if you want to try working on Cobra, just bring the legs close together. This time we're going to place the hands outside of the chest. Elbows draw into the body. Lift the forehead away from the mat. The gaze is still towards the mat. And check and see how much weight you have on your hands. Can you hold the position and take the hands off the mat? This is baby cobra. Working on digestion, work on strengthening the lower back, stretching the hip flexors, all good things. Elbows are tucked in. And then release all the way down. Normally when we're working on Cobra, you just turn your head to the side and relax the arms down by the sides. Good deep breath. And then once again, placing the hands outside the chest, drawing the legs in. So you want to think about the legs actively pressing towards each other. Start with the forehead down. Let the chin stretch forward, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders. We're in baby cobra. You can stay here if you wish, or you can press a little weight into the hands. So this is now advancing into cobra, but you have some weight on the hands. So you want to still make sure those elbows are tucking in. Check in with the shoulders. Are the shoulders down and relaxed? Try not to let the shoulders come up by the ears. And again, maybe just you release the head a little bit, side to side. Is it maybe slightly looser? And then release all the way down. And make the pillow for the head. Or just turn the head to the side and relax the arms down by the sides. Good deep breath. From here, just for a moment, we're gonna press back to child's pose, okay? So we're starting to warm up the back now, but we're just gonna take a moment to stretch it. So come up onto hands and knees. Take the knees wide apart. If you want to bring the knees onto the mat, that'll feel nice. I mean, onto the blanket. And then stretch the hips back, stretch the arms in front, and breathe in child's pose. Walk the hands in towards the knees. If you haven't used your blanket yet, get it now because we're going to come to a kneeling position. Okay, so I told you you can work on backward bending from a kneeling position. So let's just go over this a couple of times. So have your knees apart so they're in alignment with your hips. Okay, knees in alignment with the hips. And then take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers if possible. If that's not possible, just stretch the arms back. And draw the shoulder blades in as you draw the shoulders back. Good deep breath here. And then let that go, roll the shoulders. And we're going to take camel pose. So if lying on the belly isn't comfortable and you want to work on backward bending, then this is an option for you. You can start with the hands on the back of the thighs. Draw the elbows in, lift the chest, lift the gaze, and lean back slightly. You might feel your hamstrings, the back of your legs, engage a little bit. Take a breath here. And then come back center. So this can put a little stress on the neck. So you just want to be careful of that and maybe not hold the pose quite as long as you would if you were on the floor. If you want to take this a little bit deeper, you can place the hands on the lower back, draw the elbows in, let the pelvis press forward a little bit as you lean back, lift the gaze, and good deep breath. And come back center. Relax the arms down. Roll the shoulders, let that go. And I'll show you one more variation for camel pose. So you could also do camel pose with the toes under, right? So you're raising the heels up a little bit, toes under. And then you can start by stretching one arm back. So I'm gonna stretch my left arm back. I'm gonna turn my chest. I'm gonna grab onto my left heel, okay? And then I'm gonna take my right arm back and grab onto my right heel. Lift my chest, lift my gaze, good deep breath. And I'm going to come out of the pose the same way I came in. One arm first, and then the other. Okay, so that's a deeper version. You're going to feel a lot more stretch in your hip flexors. And now we'll take the counter pose, which is rabbit pose. We're going to bring the crown of the head down to the mat. And we're going to place our hands, the thumb inside of the calf and the fingers outside of the calf on both hands. So top of the head is down, thumbs inside the calf, fingers outside the calf, and then puff up the back and breathe. And then place the hands down on the mat. Walk the hands forward, and we're going to lie back down on the belly. Make a pillow for the head with the hands. Good deep breath, let it all go. And now we'll work on locust pose. So locust pose, a lot of variations. We're gonna start very simple, and if if it feels like too much, then just go back to what we were doing before. So for locust pose, we're gonna bring the legs close together, bring the arms down by the sides, forehead is down. Lift the forehead away from the mat and reach the arms off the floor like the fingertips are reaching for the toes, and take a breath. Release all the way down, turn the head to the side. That is half locust. So let's take half locust one more time. Forehead is down, legs are together. Inhale as you lift. And take a breath here. And release all the way down, maybe turning the head to the other side. Okay, the other half of half locust, you can lift the upper body, you can also lift the lower body. So, and again, if you don't have a blanket underneath your hips, this would be a really good time to get one, even if you only have a towel. So you're gonna rock the body to the side, you're gonna slide your hand with the palm face up underneath your inner thigh, right at the top of your inner thigh towards your groin. And then shift the hips to the other side, place the hand underneath. So for half locust, you can either do this lifting one leg at a time, or you can lift both legs. But whichever you decide to do, you should have your forehead on the mat. So let's try that. Forehead comes down. And then lifting just the right leg. And release. Lifting the left leg. And then if you wish to try both, think about the palms pressing towards the legs as you lift both legs up. Take a breath. And then release all the way down. Release the hands out from underneath you. And a good deep breath. So you can stick with half locust, which is either lifting the upper body or lifting the lower body, or you could try full locust, which is going to be lifting both at the same time. So starting with the forehead down, inhale as you lift everything. Maybe hold for one more breath. And then release all the way down. And then just good deep breath, let all that go. Normally I would move into child's pose now, but from here I'm going to actually roll onto the back. So we're going to take a knee hug, which is similar to child's pose, and you can move your blanket off to the side right now. And bring both knees into the chest. Feel your back go flat on the mat. And start with the knees apart. So knees are outside of the torso and feet can be close together, just the way they would be in child's pose. And good deep breath here. One more breath. And now we'll move into some forward bending. So for the simplest version of forward bending, you're lying on the mat. So let's bring the left foot down and stretch the right foot up to the ceiling. So think about the right heel pushing up and the hands support the back of the right thigh. The idea is to really get the leg as straight as possible and have the heel pushing to the ceiling. If this feels good, you can stay here, or you can stretch your left leg down straight. Good deep breath. Oh yeah. Use the breath to help you release into the position. And then bend the right knee into the chest. Bring the left knee into the chest. And take that, again, that sort of upside down child's pose with the knees wide apart and the feet close together. Good deep breath. And then release the right foot down. Stretch the left leg up, heel pushing towards the ceiling. Hands supporting the back of the left thigh. Right leg can be bent or straight. And breathe. And then bend the right knee. And let's bring the left knee, I'm sorry. Bring the left knee over to the right side. Just kind of roll over onto the right side and roll up to a seated position. Take your blanket. And now we'll do seated forward bending. So just make a nice little cushion with your blanket. So we're just going to elevate the hips a little bit. And this just makes the forward bending a little bit more available. So let's have the right leg straight, and we're going to drop the left knee out to the side. So the sole of the left foot is against the right leg. And try to get the right leg so it's directly straight down from the hip and not out to the side. And then we're going to work to slide the hands down the right leg. So just slide the hands down and slide them back up a couple of times as we just check in and see how this is feeling. Okay, so we know how tight we are there. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Lift the rib cage. Think about the rib cage lifting up and moving out over the leg, and the arms follow. Let the hands rest on something, the leg or the mat. Take an inhale as you stretch the chest forward. Exhale as you drop the head over very gently. And breathe into the stretch here. Focus on the breath and think about letting go. Then walk the hands back towards the body. Maybe you want to take a little twist, just a very gentle twist to the right side. And then switch the legs. So left leg will stretch down straight. Right knee is going to drop open to the right side. Okay, a couple of those nice easy leg slides. As you check in with the other side of the body. And then inhale as you stretch up. Lifting the rib cage up, and then think about the rib cage moving forward as you reach out, and let the hands float down and land wherever they're comfortable. Inhale as the chest stretches forward. Exhale, release over, let the head go, and breathe. Very easy, very gently. If you can think about that leg being active, so think about the left thigh sort of gently pressing down. That's just going to assist you in helping to stretch the back of the leg because you're engaging the muscles in the front. And very gently walk the hands back towards the body. And maybe just taking a very easy twist to the left side with the left hand coming back behind you. And then coming back center. Where does the time go? Okay, let's take a full forward fold here. So we've stretched both sides. Inhale up, lifting the rib cage up, reaching out, coming all the way forward. Good deep breath, chest stretches forward. Exhale, release over. Couple good deep breaths here. And then walking the hands up the legs, coming all the way up. Just for a moment, let's come to standing. Okay, so let's take a standing back bend and a standing forward bend, so you can see these variations. It sort of all ties together because you see all of these poses throughout, a regular yoga class. So stand with the feet together, come into Tadasana, mountain pose. Bring the palms together at the heart center. Inhale as you stretch the arms up. The gaze is going to follow the hands. You're going to take a very gentle back bend here. So the hips are going to press forward a little bit. Head's going to tilt back a little bit. And then reach out to the sides. Come all the way down and hang over the legs. So that was the back bend. And here's the forward bend. It's okay for the knees to be soft. And then reach the arms out to the side, coming all the way up over the head. Palms come together. You can take a second back bend if you wish, not necessary. And then draw the hands down to the heart. Relax the arms down by the sides and take a breath into Tadasana. So that is a lot of work on forward and backward bending. Very good, again, for spinal flexibility, digestion, strengthening the lower back, energizing. Do you feel any more energetic? Now we're going to just take a very brief Shavasana, because I always think it's important, even if it's just a minute, which is what it's probably going to be today. It's always good to relax and just let everything settle in the body after any kind of yoga practice. Very important. So even if it's just a minute, we're just going to lie down on the mat. Maybe you want something underneath your head or underneath your knees. If you want to take breathe oil again, you can, or any oil that you like. And then just close the eyes and just for a moment or a moment and a half, just let the body release into the floor. Just think about letting go and focus on your breath. And then taking a good deep breath letting it go. Moving the body just a little bit. Gently. Maybe taking a full body stretch. And then rolling over onto your side. Take another breath here. And then bringing yourself back to a comfortable seated position, keeping the eyes closed. Taking a moment to just feel some lengthening in your spine. And then bringing the palms together at the heart center, gently bowing head to hands. The divine light in me honors the divine light in each of you. It is with deep gratitude that I practice with you today. Namaste. And you can open your eyes as you feel ready. There you are. So thanks for joining me today. So for some forward bending and backward bending, and maybe now you understand how the two kind of go together and balance each other out a little bit.